Oh, hey, Jessica.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
hmm Absolutely.
Thank
Glad to be
you.
here.
Thank you for talking to us today. Today, I'd love to pick your brain about couples and money. It is often a topic in couples therapy, and it can be a source of joy if you're just rolling in it and you're you're just independently wealthy. But usually we hear couples talking about how it's a source of conflict,
Mhm,
a source of
mhm.
stress. Often couples really have different philosophies about money, and maybe there have been years of tension and conflict about money. So, if you wouldn't mind, I know this is a great area of interest for you. You help a lot of couples on this. Would you mind just telling our viewers, what you're seeing when it comes to couples and money stress, and how you often begin to help couples with their money problems?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And this is a topic that's really dear to my heart because finances, like without finances, it is the main, like you can't buy groceries or pay bills, or it's just that kind of mindset. And so this is something that I'm seeing, especially recently, because inflations are happening, or because of this pandemic, people have had to be let go from their jobs, or they're recognizing like, ooh, my paycheck, I can't afford living anymore. I've got to get a second income, or whatever the case is. Um, and so, one of the things that I'm noticing about couples is that it's not really about the amount in your bank account that people tend to fight about. It's more of what money means to each of them. And so, like between my husband and I, we money means different things. So money means a sense of security, or a sense of stability, or like, ooh, I can pay my bills this month. And my husband, he views finances as a level of freedom. Like he likes spending money to go on adventures, or whatever the case is. And so when you have two different personalities, or two different like styles here, it can clash. And so a lot of couples come into my office and they're like, "Hey, we're stressed out about finances, or we're having arguments over it." And so I help them kind of to pull back the layers, really understand like what does money mean, or how can we create a win-win situation, so that both people can have that security and have that freedom to spend at the same time without it turning into World War III.
Mm.
Um, so that's just kind of a glimpse of what I've seen in couples, that I love helping them work through.
Oh, well, that's wonderful to hear, Jess. And thank you so much for sharing about you and your husband. It's really helpful to know that even an expert couples therapist like yourself has, maybe difficult conversations sometimes on this
Very normal.
topic.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very normal. Believe me, I won't go into my own discussions with my husband, but money is certainly one of the most common topics of disagreement with couples. And I think it's wonderful to hear that, you begin often by exploring kind of what their relationship is with money, what it means to them. The spender versus the saver sort of dynamic is really common. And it's really great to hear that you kind of help couples, it sounds like, to slow down and
Yeah.
to really learn more about how we could create more of a win-win versus what it sounds like you often see, like I do, is
Yeah.
couples who are afraid of compromise, because they're, if they're terrified of not being able to save enough, or if they're terrified of not being able to have any freedom to spend,
Yeah.
oftentimes it does just become a debate, that ends up going nowhere, like you said, a World War III, an escalation. Or what we also see, I know you see this too, is where it just becomes a hot topic that seems to never go anywhere. It's gridlocked. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
there's maybe a sense of futility or despair about, like, why even talk about it? Like, we'll
Mm-hmm.
just maybe avoid this topic. And I keep seeing these Amazon boxes appear, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to secretly resent you.
Mm-hmm. That and
Or,
student loans. Student
or
loans
student
is another
loans.
big
Yeah.
topic right there.
Yeah. Or we've seen people with secret credit cards, or
Yeah.
sometimes people will start to lie to each other and try to avoid conflict. So there's a better alternative than just World War III, or kind of avoidance of the topic altogether. So it sounds like you really how to help couples begin to come back to the table and have a different kind of conversation. Any other final tips about, if a couple is struggling with this, how they might be able to begin? Obviously, they can come see you, and she's great. So I suggest seeing Jessica. But if they want to start working on this on their own, is there anything else that you might suggest they begin doing on their own?
Yeah. One of the biggest things is, especially when it comes to finances, there's a lot of fear behind them. And maybe like people have never really been taught how to like create a budget, or they've never really been taught like what does it mean to have savings or whatever the case is. Instead of just charge it, be able to have or take ownership or responsibility. And one of the things that has been really helpful is this one little key phrase. It says, action cures fear. And so whether that means, like for me, like I was always terrified of clicking on my bank account app just to see how much money that I had. So something that helped me out was like, okay, just one time today, let me just click on that bank account app, and that one little action helped me to cure a little bit of fear of like the unknown. How much money do I have? Whatever the case is. So just taking a little baby step action that is going to help to start that conversation between you and your partner, or be able to help work through some of that fear. Just start a conversation between the couple. And that's usually really, really helpful. I can always help with budgets, or I can always help with those conversations. And so just one of those steps is just take one little action towards whatever you're most fearful of, especially when it comes to money, finances, student debt, whatever the case is. That's going to help you to kind of meet in the middle, or to be able to overcome a lot of those financial stressors or those uncomfortable conversations.
Great. I love that. One little baby step action, beginning to have a conversation. It doesn't have to all be resolved in one conversation. Absolutely. Usually it isn't. Right. So that's good. That's a good way to think about it. Beginning a dialogue, not necessarily resolving anything yet. That's a really good first step. Well, thank you, Jessica. If anyone would like to work with you, I know that they can find out more on our website at counselingatl.com/Jessica to learn more about Jessica. And I know you offer free initial video consultations as well. So if anyone's interested in working with you on this topic or many more, please schedule with Jessica, and or reach out to her and ask any questions. Thank you so much, Jessica, for your time. And thanks for all the wonderful work you do for couples.
Absolutely. Glad I can help here. So have a good one.
Thank you. You too.